Good morning. This is a video response to Dell, his last video on uh, being informed in the role-playing game by how you want to characterize the character, maybe being informed by um, terminology, right? And I have to agree that if I'm playing something like Ubiquity and it has something like motivation or personality, and it says stubborn. I feel compelled to be stubborn and play stubborn almost to its fullest extent when there is terminology used. So if we use terms, I feel they're more locked. The character is locked to some degree into how I'm supposed to play the character. This is why I preferred, and I think I don't say I didn't as a kid know any different. We rolled up a character. I was GMing most of the time, but the point is, you roll up a character. It's a numerical value. It's a numerical, excuse me, numerical value, um, and that's a range of some way to perceive the character, not as black and white, but as maybe not stupid, but he can't really read or write, or maybe he's not real observant, but he's not unwise, or I you have wiggle room to impart to be a character and a part of a characterization to the character, but also because it's an abstract numerical value, we can also see the character evolve or change through actual play and experiences, right? I am much more open when I make a character in a game that uses numerical values to kind of interpreting that character on a scale as opposed to black and white, stubborn, angry, bitter, old, whatever the term might be, strong, right? Whatever. Um, so I prefer the abstraction in all gaming. This is true of tabletop sports gaming. I prefer abstraction as opposed to a definition. And so probably why I prefer abstraction is the freedom to interpret the moment. I roll the dice in a football game and it's a run touchdown, and I look at the team and the team has a running score of 6 out of 8. And I roll a touchdown and I go, oh, yeah, that was a running touchdown because their pass TD is a 1 out of 8, their run touchdown. And I can interpret the score must have been a run because this team is weighted greater to running. And so I can interpret those numbers, but it doesn't have to be hard and fast, right? But I could also say in a football game, it was the final drive of the game, final 2 minute. What are the chances it was a running touchdown and not a passing touchdown? I can extrapolate in through my imagination that must have been a last minute touchdown pass, right? And therefore could score it as a TD, right? So I prefer numbers because they're abstract and because there is no hard and fast, right, wiggle room. So if my character is 18 strength in a game like D&D, and 18 is the highest in the world, let's say it's locked, 18 is it's the highest strength. Well, that just tells me, you know, a physical attribute. His personality might be based on that, right? It might be based on having been the strongest person he's ever, I happen to be the strongest guy I've ever known, kind of thing. How would that influence my personality through my career? I'm the guy that's the big brute, or I'm the strong silent type, or am I the intimidating, threatening physical type, whatever. So those can inform me, but there is no hard and fast rule. Am I the strong silent type or am I the bully? Right? It's 18. It still works in the game for all mechanisms the same way, but I get to choose what that 18 might mean to this character, right? And I like that. I like that ability to go in kind of vaguely thinking about my character a little bit, informed by everything from class to gender to race, to ability scores, and then watch that character further through experience. If we saw it as a diagram that changes through live, right? I start as a strong kind of archetype, but then over play, he slowly evolves into caring, strong archetype, or maybe into cold-blooded because his friends have been killed by some evil NPC, and now he wants revenge, and that character's motivations and what he's experienced start to change the character too. But who that character is still true based on my subtle ideas of him. So I prefer abstraction. I prefer numbers to uh, uh, you know, adjectives. I prefer numbers to terms. Terms tend to kind of lock us in, and that's my personal take, right? I'd rather see a number or interpret a than be told I'm stubborn or to be told that I am impatient or whatever, because I'm going to feel compelled, and and everybody else at the table is going to be, that's you're not playing your impatient character impatient, Jay. Therefore, I'm feeling more like I'm playing the game. I'm being told how to role play the character, which is also role playing. Can I do it? And can I do it and also experience the game? That's part of role play, is the idea that it's not just a whimsy. Yeah, you've got to play a stubborn character. You happen to roll stubborn, or you happen to choose stubborn, and if you want the benefits of that, you're going to have to play that stubbornness out through role play, and everybody knows now you're role playing. It's not just you, right? With your avatar fighter, right? So the what is vague about role playing in general is, are you just playing an avatar waiting to roll dice in combat, and you speak as a player slash character? Hey, let's pick the lock on that door. It's really me saying what I'd like to do as the player in the game, but everybody can perceive that as my character saying, let's pick the lock. Or again, I put on an affectation and say, just pick the damn lock already now, to the character in the party, and express that in a particular personality. It depends on how you want to do it. When a game says to you, you're going to get a Benny for being, for playing up your impatience, and especially in key moments, right? Your character might do something to jeopardize the party or yourself because impatience is a hindrance, right? And there is an actual mechanical effect on that. And that can earn you a Benny for playing it up, taking the mechanical disadvantage, but I get a Benny for it as well. That's fun. And that's actually mechanized. That's where role playing has been mechanized. You don't have to do it, but then are you really role playing, right? And if the game actually mechanizes it, then you should play to it and you should reap the benefits of the mechanization. I personally like to play a character, and I like to interact with the world and with my party mates, and then the character will grow attached to some characters and will and have affinity for some other characters, and will maybe have aversions to other characters, and those things can change and adjust because I like to play in that character's head, but I don't necessarily want to state I'm going to play this person, everybody, and I'm going to do this every session, every game, no matter what. I'm actually playing from the perspective of the character, trying to think about how a character would respond and act to these other characters, these other situations. And that means I feel flexibility, right? And I have a lot more fun discovering the subtle nuances of the character through these things, as opposed to, nope, stubborn always wins. Stubborn's going to always win here, right? And that's so I prefer option. I prefer being ultimately in charge of the personality and the character I'm trying to impart in the session, as opposed to being mechanized, right? So anyway, it's a fascinating conversation. Haven't thought much about it of late, as I have not concern myself with the theories and the of role playing. I have of late have eschewed all concepts of theory and the how tos and the how you shoulds and how to practice better. And I have just enjoyed my favorite hobby, role playing games. And in a way, you go full circle. You go from not knowing anything to learning to adjusting to adapting to trying to impart and be better or do better or to then back around at 54 to I just want to enjoy this the way I know how and the way I really do. So I'm less interested in the search for the perfect experience. I'm less interested in the exhibition of how to do this thing or whether you do this thing right or you do this thing the way I do this thing or all that shit at this point, when you get old enough, you start realizing so much of that shit is ego, so much of that shit is not what I'm about. So, all right, great conversation though. I like this. It's very interesting, Dell. Good points. All right.